Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, I've been on the show with you for about 4 years, and often I hear you speak about the different experience levels of real estate agents. So, what should a realtor be doing to sell a house here in Colorado?
Well, Richard, I hate to say this, but in this industry, it's only 1 month of school to get your license. There is no training. There is no standardization. There is no job description. And the facts, the actual facts of sales results kind of bear that out. It's 1 month of school. You go hang your license with a broker, and the broker goes, go sell, figure it out, bring me some of that commission. I'll get 30 whatever percent of it. Unfortunately, 71% of the licensed agents failed to sell a home in 2024. 71%. And I was recently talking to my colleague about it. I said, hey, when you first started, did you get any training on how to do this? She goes, no. So she just figured it out. So, and then to top it all off, the Realtor Association rules make real estate agents a commodity. So, our job is to help our clients buy and sell homes, right? But the rules with the association want them all the listings online not to be special. They want them to be generic. We're not allowed to post anything that would make the home really desirable. Like a good example would be if a home seller was willing to allow a buyer to assume their low interest VA loan. I know we've talked about it before, Richard, but you don't have to be a veteran to assume a VA loan. So imagine walking into a home, instead of paying 6.5% interest on a mortgage, you could pay 2.5% by just putting the difference down and have no closing cost. Would that make you happy?
It would absolutely. And I wish that I were a veteran, but I'm not. And I did not know that you do not absolutely have to be a veteran to take advantage of some of these things.
Yeah, it saves those buyers anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 in interest over the life of the loan. So the smart ones have figured it out really fast. But the associations are like, well, you can't do that. You can't put any financial stuff on there. And I'm like, but it makes this home highly desirable because they can really get it for a lower price and a lower payment if they pay full price as compared to buying some other house that didn't have that available. So it's just astounding to me. So some of the things that we can't market, that we give first responders and military special rates on our services. We can't even put in the multiple listing service that the seller is offering a warranty program that warrants the systems for a year after they close on the home. Not allowed. They're going to rip that out. And it's insane. I had one recently where the home is owned by the VA, the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. It has problems. It was priced well below market because when they built it, they did something wrong, and it's causing a little bit of cosmetic cracks and stuff. The slab is moving a little bit. So they priced it really, really low. But if my job is to market and sell, I can't go out to the public and go, this house is a wreck, don't come see it, right? I can't do that. And so, but I did put information about the condition of the home in the multiple listing service under the private agent remarks, as well as it comes on their phone when they schedule a showing. The problem is I can't get the real estate agents that went to 1 month of school to read the instructions, right? Or to read the MLS. I don't even think they look at the MLS anymore. So they'd get to the house, they'd realize it has some issues. It can't go for traditional financing. Then they get mad at me. They're talking smack about me. Their buyers calling me and complaining that I'm wasting their time, and I've never met them before. I'm like, how could I waste your time? I don't even know you. Well, we drove all the way out here to see this home. This priced $120,000 below current market value, and it has problems. I'm like, yeah, it does. And I put that in the agent remarks. Didn't your agent give you that information? Oh, sorry, your agent didn't read the information. So I'm like, okay, I can't deal with this anymore. So I thought, I asked my colleague, he suggested, just go ahead and put it in the description about the condition of the home. So I did. I put it on my two different listing services that I use. So the local National Association Multiple Listing Service, I put in there that the home has structural settling. It does have a structural warranty because it's only a 3.5-year-old home. We don't know if the warranty is going to fix it, but the VA, who is the owner, is offering it as is. And guess what the MLS said to me? They said, you can't say that. You got to take those words out. But at least I have my alternative MLS. And so it went out to the public, and the public finally could see it. And it ended up being a happy story because now all of a sudden the buyers are calling me and asking me questions, and I can help them probably more than some random agent that doesn't even read a few sentences in the MLS. So it's insane the way they've set it up. They're trying to make every agent a commodity, meaning we're all generic, we're all the same, there's all nothing special, and we're all going to take your listing and put it on my website so my buyers can see it, and my buyers ask me to show your listing. So and even recently the commission negotiation is getting to be really, really fun. I had a property that had a bidding war out in Black Forest, and the seller was willing to pay some commission to the buyer's agent, but not the full amount that she wanted. So we sent her a counter proposal, and she came back and she goes, well, why don't you put in the counter that my buyer pay me the difference? And I said, I'm not doing that. I don't work for you, and I don't know what your agreement is with your buyer. And I'm certainly not going to have the seller direct the buyer to pay you your fee. That is not his agreement. I'm working for the seller. What's between you and the buyer is on you. That's not me. So they're getting pretty bold. And I think the problem is because they made everybody so sameness, right? The agents really don't know how to differentiate themselves to make themselves not a commodity. Another example, the clear cooperation policy. So that came about, they started it in 2019, where they said, you real estate agent, if you're a member and you have a seller sign an agreement with you, within 24 hours of the agreement being signed, you cannot advertise that home anywhere unless it's in our MLS system. That way we can get some commission. Our agent association can get some commission off that listing first. In other words, no private listings, no off-market listings. And if you don't behave, then they're going to fine you $500. So I had somebody try to slap a fine on me. Usually, most of the time, it's some other agent complaining, going, she didn't follow the rules and I'm turning her in. And so what happened was I had this listing, very pretty remodeled home, but it was empty. One of their dumb rules is if you have an empty home and you virtually stage it to make it look like it's furnished, you have to also add the pictures of the empty room, which I don't like doing that because it's telegraphing to the world that it's empty. And I've had my listings broken into using their version of the marketing, and I'm not going to do that anymore. So I just didn't put it in their MLS system. And right away, boom, $500 fine for not behaving. And I called him and said, what are you doing? Why are you fining me? Well, it's not in our MLS. I said, it's not in your MLS, but it is in an MLS. And on the fly, they made up the rule. You have to have it in our MLS. I'm like, where does it say that? It just says in the MLS. It's just not in yours. So a lot of people are rule followers. I try to behave, but at the end of the day, my goal is to help the clients get what they most want, which is to sell their home for the most money. And you can't do that being lost in the sea of houses out there. And that's the reason why 71% of real estate agents sold zero homes in 2024. There are 6,300 agents in the Pikes Peak region, but 1,500-ish sales every month. So that means most of them are not getting a paycheck, right? Most of them are not selling. And then got one more thing that I like to whine about, which is agent abdication of the few little services that they are supposed to supply for their commission. So what they do is they hire these unlicensed transaction coordinators. Once they get a contract, woohoo, they're 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 10 that are getting a contract. And then they just abdicate the whole job to somebody that's unlicensed, unqualified to track their critical deadlines in the contract to sales process. And then they try to make me, their admin assistant. And it makes me nuts, and I won't cooperate with them. I said, no, I'm not doing that. So all the tracking and due diligence falls on the listing agent's shoulders, because the buyer's agents, they drug in a buyer, they filled out a 10-minute contract. They don't want to go to the inspection. They don't want to track their deadlines. They just want to show up at closing and get their check and be done with it. I actually had, just last week, an agent text me and go, can you just show my buyer your listing? And I'm like, you don't have a team, somebody that could show? Well, no, I've got something else going on, so I can't do it. I said, sure, refer me your buyer and we'll take good care of him, meaning I get paid some of the commission for doing your job. And he's like, oh no, I get other agents to do it for $50. I said, that doesn't even cover my gas, dude. I'm not doing it. So, and I think I know what he was going to do. If I gave him access, he would give out the combination to the buyer and let them go in there on the zone. So I was like, no, I don't trust you. It's not going to happen. So for sure, you need certainty of the sale. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show. And we're going to talk a little bit about what I think agents should be doing to help home sellers sell their home. If you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900. We can typically match over 1,000 buyers for any home. Give us a call or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can reach her and her team at 719-301-3900. And we're talking about what a realtor should do to sell your house here in Colorado. So, Barbara, how do you approach the task of selling a house here in Colorado?
Well, I believe my job is to create demand if I'm representing a seller. What most agents do is what I call post and hope. They get pictures done, hopefully they're professional photos. They post it in the MLS and hope some other agent, the 1 out of 10 agent that might be selling a home, brings them a buyer. The problem is that whole theory has a massive failure rate. And, most agents' only solution is to just ask them to lower the price. At the end of the day, there's a lot of things in the sales process that need attention and expertise. There's repairs that have to be managed. We have to get good bids on repairs. There's negotiations that have to take place. There's just getting a buyer to the finish line. You wouldn't believe how many times I see second showings and then they vanish and they go away. It's like, well, what happened? If they spent the time to go back and look at a home a second time in this market, they're interested. What happened to their closing skills? Why don't they use something to motivate the buyer to open negotiations? So we're having to do all that for them. And we do that with enhanced ads, offers in our ads, helping people prepare their home for sale, helping people prepare to show the home, and helping people close on the home. If you want our services, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. If you are thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. When we come back, we'll be discussing how to tell if your house will sell, plus guaranteed cash offers on your home and Barb's hot new listing. Stay tuned for all of that.